Imagine one day, almost by accident, you come across an old manuscript. Its pages are yellowed and worn with age, but still readable. It has no author's name, no date, no signature, only a title written inside the cover in careful, almost ritual-like handwriting. This isn't just any book, it's called The Manuscript of the Last Healer. It wasn't made to be simply read, but to be remembered. The words inside don't teach anything new. Instead, they awaken something deep inside you, something the modern world has tried to bury: your true power. Today, many people feel disconnected from their true selves. Our souls seem broken into pieces, tamed, and made smaller than they once were. We've been told healing is something others do for us, that knowledge is kept only by a select few, and that real inner power is just a fairy tale. But those who have discovered secret teachings know the truth is different. They know that inside every person is a sleeping healer, a soul alchemist, a warrior of light. This message isn't just a thought to consider. It's a key, a door, and an invitation to step beyond the ordinary and meet your true self. We're about to explore the mysteries hidden in this so-called lost manuscript. Mysteries that trace back to ancient myths, secret rituals, and silent traditions that kept this knowledge alive while the world remained asleep. We will learn what it really means to be a healer. It's not just about fixing others' bodies, it's about remembering who you truly are. We'll reveal teachings linked to the oldest spiritual traditions, from vibrational healing to the sacred patterns of the soul, from the mindful use of words to the powerful silence within. Most importantly, we'll share practical techniques and insights you can use every day to reconnect with your inner core, the source of real power. Not a power over others, but the power to create, change, and awaken. This is not a journey outside yourself. It's a return to a voice calling from within. If you're reading this, it's no accident. No one finds the manuscript of the last healer unless they're ready for it. Not all knowledge is meant for everyone. Throughout history, some teachings weren't shared in public or written on official documents. They were passed quietly in secret caves, hidden temples, and among chosen ones who understood that certain truths could only be given to those ready to receive them. Within these hidden streams of wisdom, there's the mysterious figure of the initiatory healer, and with him, the tradition of living manuscripts, texts meant not just to inform, but to awaken the soul. The idea of a manuscript that's read not with the eyes, but with the soul, appears in many spiritual traditions. In ancient India, sacred texts like the Agamas and Tantras were kept secret for those who had already transformed themselves through discipline. In ancient Egypt, the Hermetic writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus were seen as secret keys to unlock inner healing mysteries. Even in Christian mysticism, some hidden gospels teach about the inner light, the healing power of words, and the body as a sacred temple, ideas that were later pushed aside by strict religious rules. In these traditions, the healer is more than just a physical doctor. The healer is someone who has learned to restore balance between body, mind, soul, and spirit. They don't see themselves as just a helper, but as a reminder, a trigger to awaken the divine code that lives inside every person. So the manuscripts they carried weren't just books, they were tools to spark that remembrance. Why was this knowledge hidden? Because true power can't be controlled. Religious, political, and cultural systems fear the free individual, the person who has remembered their true self and tapped into their own well of wisdom and healing. That's why many of these teachings were silenced, twisted, or labeled heretical, but they never vanished. They just hid in symbols, in patterns, chants, dreams, and writings that open only when your consciousness is ready. The manuscript of the last healer might not even be a real book. It could be a symbol, a powerful metaphor representing the last spark of a forgotten tradition. Or it might be a real lost text waiting to be found by the right seeker. Either way, its message echoes the voices of those who preserved the truth. That true transformation comes not from outside forces, but from deep inside your being. Understanding this is more than just learning history. It's an act of spiritual justice. When we realize where this knowledge comes from, we see that we're not inventing anything new. We're reconnecting with a forgotten heritage, and that changes everything. To truly understand what the manuscript of the last healer is about, we first need to let go of the usual idea that knowledge is something external, something you just collect or learn from books or lectures. This manuscript isn't just a book filled with facts or information. Instead, it's a living, breathing text that acts like a mirror. But this mirror doesn't show you what you already know. It reflects what you've forgotten deep inside. Its wisdom isn't written in simple words, but in symbols, vibrations, and universal truths that speak directly to your soul beyond just your mind. Right from the start, this manuscript doesn't give explanations or definitions. Instead, it asks a question. Do you remember who you are when you don't have to be anyone else? It's not about piling up more data or facts, but about waking up a kind of spiritual memory inside you. And that's really important. In many spiritual traditions, to remember means not just bringing something back from the past, but reuniting parts of yourself that have been separated. It's about coming back to your heart. This manuscript, whether it's a real book or a symbol, is designed as a map of your inner world. Each section focuses on a key part of who you are, parts that need understanding, healing, and balance. There's no strict rulebook or hierarchy here. Instead, you find keys, pieces of wisdom presented through powerful images, sacred numbers, meaningful words, and teachings you don't just read, but recognize deep inside. One of the most important ideas in the manuscript is about energetic self-sovereignty. It tells us that a true healer doesn't rely on tools, rituals, or outside methods. The most powerful tool a healer has is simply their presence, their ability to fully live in their own energy with awareness. The power to heal yourself and others comes when your inner vibration is stronger than the noise and distractions of the outside world. Here, a big difference becomes clear. A healer isn't just someone who repeats old methods or passes on what they learned. A healer is an alchemist of the now. They take pain and turn it into compassion. They take fear and change it into conscious, loving action. They don't ignore darkness, they shine light on it from inside. The first step for this kind of healing is awakening the core inside you, the place where pure intention meets quiet stillness. The manuscript doesn't offer a step-by-step method or promise quick fixes. Instead, it opens doors, and each door can only be unlocked by a unique key, your own key, shaped by every experience, every mistake, every silent moment of searching that you might not have even realized was part of your journey. One powerful message in the manuscript is this: the healer isn't made, the healer awakens. This changes everything. It means you don't have to look outside yourself for answers or try to become perfect to be worthy. The power you've been chasing outside already burns inside you. You just need to remember it and claim it. This is the manuscript's main twist. Stop learning new things and start remembering what's already inside. Stop searching outside and start being present within yourself. The manuscript of the last healer doesn't teach magic tricks. It teaches you how to be the channel through which transformation happens. As you move deeper into its teachings, you realize that the real art of healing isn't about manipulating energies or substances outside of you. It's about mastering your own energy field. The manuscript shares an important teaching. Every person gives off an energy field, not just the physical electromagnetic field that science talks about, but a field of consciousness made up of your intentions, thoughts, feelings, and spiritual harmony. This energy field isn't still. It vibrates, and the quality of that vibration shows, whether you're a true healer or just someone repeating empty words and formulas. The power to heal doesn't come from knowing techniques. It comes from living in such a clear, strong, and centered energy that simply being near you helps clear distortions in others. This is one of the manuscript's core lessons. Healing spreads through coherence, and that coherence can't be faked. You can't just say nice things or act the part. True coherence comes from deeply accepting both your light and your shadow. The manuscript teaches that your shadow, your broken, dark parts, isn't the enemy. It's the raw material for inner healing. A true healer doesn't hide from their darkness or pretend everything is perfect. They accept it, transform it, and turn it into a source of compassion that shines brightly. Another important lesson is the power of being present without trying to control or fix things. Instead of rushing in with anxiety or force, a true healer simply holds space with deep calm and stillness. They don't push healing on others. They invite it. Like a candle lighting another candle without a word, their energy alone can awaken the other person's own light. This way of simply holding space without interfering is itself a sacred act. The manuscript also talks about the power of words as creative forces. Every word carries a shape. Every shape carries a vibration, and every vibration carries a destiny. So a conscious healer chooses their words carefully, not to convince or teach, but to open doors in another person's awareness. This makes the healer an artist of the soul, a sculptor working with invisible but powerful material, the vibration of their own consciousness. Here's another powerful paradox from the manuscript of The Last Healer. The less ego you carry, the better a channel you become. The less you try to force healing, the more healing actually happens. One of the most mysterious lines says, "It is not you who heals. It is the totality remembering its form through you." This breaks down the idea that the healer has some personal power or special gift. Instead, the healer is like an empty flute, ready for the divine breath to flow through. The healer's role isn't to control or force anything, but to tune themselves, aligning deeply with the true center of reality, where the soul doesn't push or strive, but simply vibrates. This leads to the manuscript's second big insight. The healer's job is not to change others directly, but to live so truly and fully in their own essence that their very presence becomes an invitation for others to remember who they really are. That presence is the strongest medicine there is, a vibration that doesn't argue, convince, or impose, but simply remembers, resonates, and awakens. This is the legacy of the last healer. It's not a title or some supernatural power, but a natural way of being that everyone carries inside, like a sacred seed waiting to bloom in spring. The manuscript of the last healer doesn't offer quick fixes or meaningless rituals. Its teachings, though deeply mystical, reveal a simple but radical truth. The most powerful transformation is often the simplest, not because it's easy, but because it demands complete honesty and courage to unlock the power that's always been inside you. You don't need to go out and find something new. You just need to learn to see clearly again, to truly inhabit yourself, and to reclaim what you've forgotten. Here are some key practices inspired by the manuscript, adapted for everyday life. The goal isn't to do more, but to be more fully who you already are. First, start your day with silence. Before you reach for your phone, speak, or even move, spend a few minutes in quiet. Breathe deeply, place your hand on your chest, and feel. Don't think, just feel. Ask yourself, what part of me is still asleep? This simple act helps align your consciousness with your energetic heart. Silence is the natural home of the healer. Second, stay grounded in your presence throughout the day. Stop several times, even for just 30 seconds, to bring your attention fully to the present moment. Notice your body, feel your feet on the ground, listen to the sounds around you. This simple habit strengthens your energetic field. Your presence itself is medicine. The more you're fully here, the more you can hold space for others and for yourself. Third, learn to observe emotions without rushing to fix or push them away. When feelings like sadness, anger, or fear arise, don't run from them or try to control them. Instead, hold them gently with awareness, without judgment. Name them if you can. The Manuscript teaches that emotions are doors, not obstacles. When you face them with presence, they start to shift, not through thought, but through the heart. Fourth, be mindful with your words. Speak less, but speak from your center. Don't repeat empty phrases or fill silence with meaningless chatter. The Manuscript says, every unfelt word builds a prison. Words spoken with true feeling and intention become acts of healing. Empty words, on the other hand, drain your power. Fifth, turn everyday actions into sacred rituals. A healer doesn't need a temple. Wash your hands as if you're cleansing your energy field. Eat as if you're nourishing your light. Walk as if the earth itself recognizes your step. When you bring full awareness to simple tasks, you make them sacred. This is what a healer does. They consecrate life through the ordinary. Sixth, remember that you already are who you need to be. You don't have to become someone else or reach some distant goal. You are already here. True power doesn't come from adding more, but from shedding what isn't real, until only your true essence shines through. The healer is not born. The healer is revealed, the Manuscript says. This is your real work, to remember and to hold that space. These aren't rigid instructions, but keys, each one able to open a door if practiced with humility, patience, and respect. Because a true healer doesn't try to act like one. They simply live aligned with their quiet, authentic truth. So here we are, at the end of this path. Or maybe the real beginning. The Manuscript of the Last Healer doesn't hand down some secret knowledge reserved for a select few. Instead, it quietly reminds us all that the last healer is you. Yes, you who have heard that inner whisper telling you there's more to life. You who have grown tired of searching for answers in places that only bring more noise. You who feel that the pain you carry has a deeper purpose than just suffering. You who know, even if you sometimes forget, that something bright, whole, and sacred lives within you. The Manuscript isn't meant to be understood with your mind. It's meant to connect with your soul. Its words, whether obvious or hidden, guide us back to that forgotten place where you don't have to prove anything. You just simply are. You don't need to gather more information. You don't have to wait for anyone's approval. And you definitely don't need to become someone you're not. All you need to do is remember. Remember that every cell in your body holds the wisdom of your ancestors. Remember that every feeling, even the darkest ones, is actually a hidden friend. Remember that silence holds answers noise never can. A healer isn't a job or a title. It's a way of being in tune inside yourself, seeing life as if every moment is a meaningful ritual. When you live like this, you don't have to try to heal others to be a healer. Just by being present, you start to bring balance to what feels out of place. Your energy becomes healing, your eyes a mirror, your words a living shape, and your silence a sacred space. Don't expect everyone to get this. Some will call you an idealist. Others might think you're naive. And some might even resist your light. That's okay. That's just part of the journey. The true healer doesn't come to convince anyone. They come to remind us. And for those ready, simply being near will wake something inside them too. This video, this message, this call isn't the end. It's a torch lighting the way. It's an invitation to stop chasing gurus, formulas, or labels and start living from the purest part of who you are. If this message speaks to you, if something inside you has stirred or a spark has been lit, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey back to what really matters. Give it a like if you think this truth should be shared, and send this video to anyone you know who's forgotten their light. Sometimes one reminder is all it takes to start a big change. Because the real manuscript isn't in a book. It's written inside you. See you on the next journey. Until then, remember,